All right, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Chris. This is my channel. We love comics. It is currently 12:46 a.m., so it's technically the next day, June 28th, 2019. And I thought I'd just do a quick little video for everybody, because the last video I got a ton of messages. And first of all, I want to say thank you for those. A lot of those were just amazing. But I wanted to kind of give it a little update of what's going on. I mean, I think there was a miscommunication with something. I just want to let people know, like, my mood has really nothing to do with the supposed subscribers that were pretending to be friends. I want people to know that's not that. Luna has been going kind of in and out. One day she's feeling good, the next one we're not so sure. The problem is with her heart, we have to give her these special kind of medications, otherwise her lungs fill up with fluid and her heart will fail. The problem with that is the medicines cause secondary problems, which means all of that fluid that the medicine is preventing from building up is making her liver and kidneys work overtime. So a lot of times animals can get into liver and kidney failure because of that. So there are days where she just becomes very lethargic and she won't eat. So that's why I'm kind of like the other day, why I wasn't in the greatest of mood. I don't want any hater or whatever to think that they have that much power over me that they could ruin my day. That was just kind of the icing on the cake. So I just wanted to let people know that it's mainly because there's some other personal things that I just don't want to get into. There's something that's going to be very serious that I have to do tomorrow, and it could make or break my future of pretty much everything. But like I said, I'm not really going to get into that. But my major concern is saving the life of this cat. I mean, it may not be a big deal to most people, but this cat walked into our lives literally 4 years ago. She was already probably 10 years old when she walked in. She was abandoned, and she was starving to death, and we took her in, and she's been with us for 4 years. And if only I knew then what I know now. And some of the advice I'm going to give, I'm going to make a video about this longer at some other point, but I'm going to give advice to anyone that has any kind of animal, because this is something we're never told, and it's one of the main reasons why animals that we love get sick and die. My advice is to look this stuff up, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you serve your serve your animals dry food, stop doing it. Because after all this stuff that she was doing, you know, all these medical problems, I started doing a lot of research on this stuff. Talked to a lot of veterinarians that quit the field because they were tired of all the medicines being pushed down people's throats and how it would make other side effects and ultimately kill animals. Dry food is one of the #1 reasons why animals ultimately get sick and die. Now, most vets will never tell you this, and most well, food companies that sell this stuff is not going to be able, they're not going to tell you. The research I learned with, even with cats, basically around the mid-1800s is when they started making dry cat food. And before they started making dry cat food, the average lifespan of an average house cat was 30 years or more. It's now down to about 14. Because the dry cat food, see, cats and dogs are very hardy. They're like us. We can eat junk food and survive. But just imagine if you lived on donuts and ice cream and garbage all your life. You're going to live for a long time, but you're going to end up with a lot of health problems down the line. So the dry food, there's a reason why it's cheap. It makes their livers work overtime. It ends up not giving them the nutrition they need, but they'll eat it and live, but they get sick and die. And then they basically, because it's all about veterinarians and hospitals, it's like anything. They make money off of people that are sick, and they make money off of animals that are sick. So there's not really an incentive for people to educate you about the things that you feed your animals. Because it's like us. If we eat fruits and vegetables, we're going to live healthier. If we eat junk food and candy, we're going to survive for a long time, but we're going to crash and burn and end up with lots of health problems down the line. You know, if you smoke cigarettes, you don't get lung cancer the first week you smoke. It's 30 or 40 years later. So what I started doing, and I wish I knew this years ago because she wouldn't be going through all these problems, is I started feeding her raw food, and Bob said the same thing. If you know what you're doing, it's actually cheaper than buying the dry food. The reason most people buy it is because it's convenient. You could just leave it out. Now, I can already see that they're going to block this video because they're already interfering with my live stream, because this is, unfortunately, YouTube doesn't like things that educate people. They just like stuff that distracts people. So if it goes in and out, you know, what a shocker. I'm sure this video will be flagged. So what I recommend is, if you are an animal lover, please just don't take my word for it. Research this. The doctor said when we took her months ago that she wasn't going to live another couple of weeks because she was having heart failure and she was going to have kidney failure. I have all these different vitamins and stuff, and I will make a better video about this. But I really wanted to help anybody out there. And this goes for people, whether you like me or love me or hate me, whatever. I care about, to me, animals are the most beautiful thing because they love you unconditionally. They don't judge you. They don't care if you come home and you didn't shower for the day, or you woke up in a bad mood, or you're 300 pounds, or you have one leg, or you can't see. They love you regardless. That's one of the reasons why I love animals so much, and one of the reasons why I took in 3 stray animals. Unfortunately, Luna has been out in the wild and mistreated for years before she ever came to our house. And we've done everything that we can. But I didn't know anything about the dry food, like many of you hearing this probably never knew about it. That's what causes our animals to get sick and end up with all the health problems. So what I will highly recommend is, I know it might be painful for some people, but get rid of any dry food. Even organic dry food, it does not help them. They need the moisture. And without that moisture, it dries up parts of their body that, and it's hard to explain right now, but trust me when I say research this stuff about raw food. You have to know what you're doing, obviously, but you can buy like some meats in bulk. You could freeze them, and then you could literally you could spend like $50 and it will last 2 to 3 months. The problem is you have to prepare the stuff. You could make a bunch of it and put it away. But it does take time. You know, it's very easy to go to a store, buy a bunch of food, the dry food, and just leave it out for them while you're away all day. One of the things we have to understand about animals is, especially like cats or dogs where they're inside animals, they rely on us for everything. And sometimes we take that for granted or don't realize that, you know, sometimes they don't go to the bathroom until we let them out, or they don't eat until we serve them food, so they're there waiting all day. And sometimes I don't think we stop and think about that. But even, I want you to look at the ingredients of the food. If you see anything with corn, if you see anything with byproducts, byproducts means all of the bad stuff, like the beaks of the chicken, their eyes, the feet, they grind them all together. So when you see that as an ingredient, that is not healthy. Look at your canned food. If the first 3 to 4 ingredients say anything other than chicken or salmon or beef, then it's mostly corn, it's mostly garbage, and it's going to kill your animals. Now, it doesn't kill them overnight. It ends up slowly making them sick, and then what happens? When they're 10, they're 12, they're 13, they start fading away, and you spend thousands of dollars if you care enough to save their lives. Now, somebody made a cruel comment saying that, you know, how to solve the problem, you just let her go. Well, I don't want to do that because she's a part of my family and I have a connection with her that I've never had with another animal. And I will do everything in my power to make her life not only livable, but happy. And she has her ups and downs because she has, you know, like I said, they said she had heart failure. And she now can go into kidney failure and she has diabetes. But because we're giving her all these healthier foods and I have all these different vitamins and natural stuff that I'm giving her, she's getting better. But if only we knew about this stuff years ago, none of this would happen. So I want to share this with everyone. Please, if you love your animals, research this. Make the raw food. And if you are careful with it, you know, people always talk about, oh, E. coli and all this other stuff. If If you do it properly, there's no problem. We've been doing it now for about 2 months, not one problem. You have to know what you're doing, though, and you have to take it responsibly. It's like your children. You know, you should care about what they put in their bodies. We sometimes take this for granted for the matter of convenience. You know, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, all those places, Kentucky Fried Chicken, they're all convenient. They're also very cheap, but they're also very bad for you. And I'm not trying to preach to people about what to eat. What you put in your body is one thing, but remember, your animals only eat what you choose to give them. And I know that it's hard sometimes financially, because trust me, with her going to the hospital and the doctors and all the medications that we have to buy, and I've literally spent thousands of dollars on special foods and all these natural kind of vitamins for her, it's worth it, and I understand it. But if you do all this stuff beforehand, you never have to get to that stage. So I've found out that if you get things like, first of all, cats need a thing called taurine. Now, dogs can create taurine themselves. Cats can't. Taurine is something that they get from eating muscle. So you don't want like chicken breast. You want either chicken heart or chicken thighs. The stronger the muscle is, the more it works, the higher amount of taurine. It's Taurine. Look that up. Dogs need it, but like I said, they don't need it as much because of the fact that they can create it. Cats cannot. They get it 100% from their food. If you buy store brand cat food, like especially the dry food, it does not have any of that. So buying things like taurine powder and adding it to food will help. But it's naturally in raw food. Because if you look at lions and tigers and all those other wild cats in the wild, they eat live animals. That's how they survive. They get most of their nutrients from other animals. And trust me, this is coming from, I'm a vegetarian and my wife is a vegan. But I want you, if you have any kind of animals, and this goes for rabbits and hamsters and all that other stuff, it's very easy and convenient and cheap to just put that stuff in there and just leave them be. They have no choice. If you have them in a cage or they're locked in your house, they're going to eat whatever they can because it beats dying. But if you have animals over time that get sick or die, I mean, you know, like I said, before the invention of dry food in the middle 1800s, the average lifespan of a cat was 30 years. Now you're lucky if a cat lives to 15. So you're talking about if you have an animal and you think it's part of your family, that's another 15 years worth of happiness. Jamongo says, or you can give your cat a Red Bull. Well, if you want to kill them, go right ahead, but that's kind of animal cruelty, and I would not recommend doing that. So, you know, whatever you do with your animals is up to you. So, I want to make this video to help people. Whether you want to believe in it or not, that's not for me to decide. If I know this is not going to be a very popular video. I'm not doing this for the popularity, because for me, out of my close to 8,000 subscribers, if 25 people get benefits from this video and extends the life of their animals that they love, or even if one person does, then I'm glad. And Jamongo, I understand it was a joke. It's just, like I said, I'm going through a lot of stuff lately, so my normal sense of humor is not really there, so just don't take it personally. It's just, we're trying to keep our animals alive, and there's some other personal things that I just can't get into. But please research this stuff. Look into raw food. If you buy it and you've put it in your freezer and you use a little bit at a time, you can actually save money. And what you do is, it'll probably take you about a half hour to make everything. You get a bunch of like Tupperware. So you make a bunch of it in bulk, cut it all up, put it away, and put it in the freezer. You can literally make enough to last for a month or two. And it actually works out to be cheaper than if you buy the store brand stuff. So it's not as convenient, but it's better for the health of your animals if you love them that much. So I understand about cost. So it is actually, I bought stuff 2 months ago and we're only halfway through it. And if you buy it when it's on sale, you save even more money. So this is my video. You know, if anybody's interested, I'll make another video another time. And the reason I wanted to do it here is my other channel You know, I haven't been on there that often. I mean, my other channel has 47,000 subscribers, but you know how YouTube blocks all these channels? They've been doing that to me since 2013. So I stopped really making videos on there, but I make them every now and then, but most people don't know about the cat situation over there. So I felt more people here I had a connection with, and if I can help one person, you know, extend the life of their child, of their animal, you know, their children. Some people, you know, you have daughters and sons that grow up with an animal, and eventually they pass on those animals, and kids don't understand that, so why not let them live happier and healthier? So if anybody is interested in me making that other video, I'll be more than happy to make it. I won't make it back to back or anything, because I know everybody's here for comics. But I want to make sure this channel is more about life in general, especially, you know, comics are great. I love comics. But I know that our world doesn't revolve around them, and your world doesn't revolve around them 24/7, and you have family, and you have pets, and you want to learn things that could help extend the happiness of your family and friends. And Jimangu, that was very nice of you. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate that, and thank you for, you know, understanding my situation. Believe me, normally I have a good sense of humor. It's just, that was nice of you to do that super chat. Thank you. So hopefully people will research this and put the effort into it. It will save the life of your animal. It will allow them to live happier and longer. If I would have known what I know now for my cats, they wouldn't be in the situation that they're in. It wasn't until we found out she had heart problems and my research of it to learn that the food industry, with the dry food and even like all the store brands that you see, they're all garbage. It's enough to keep them alive, but it ends their life quicker. So I hope people will research this stuff and look into it. Like I said, even if you serve them the wet canned food from the stores, look at the first 3 to 4 ingredients. If they say anything other than like chicken liver or beef or fish or whatever, if it doesn't have those in the first 3 or 4 ingredients, because that's telling you what it's mostly made of. So if you see byproducts or cornmeal or anything like that, donate it to somebody and make the raw food. It's worth it. And if you love your animals, they'll be healthier. That means less medical bills down the line, and you don't lose something that you love. And we're trying very hard. I mean, I literally got down at one point to about $300 in my bank account, and I'd do it all over again. And if this information could help one person, I don't care if every other person thumbed it down and hated it or didn't watch it. If I can help some stranger that I'll never meet have a happier life with their animals, it was worth it for me. Because this is not about me. This is about helping others. So at this point, I'm probably just rambling and saying the same thing over and over again. So if you guys are interested in the video where I show you some of the natural things that you can buy, I'll be more than happy to do it. Because like I said, even if one person learns from it, then to me that's a beautiful thing. And in this world of so many people being selfish and so many people trying to hurt one another and getting, you know, they got to get theirs kind of situation, I want to give something to you guys as a thank you. Yes, this isn't comic related, I understand that, but you know what? I can only give what I can give. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know. I'll make it in the future. There's a lot of stuff I could show you, and I know some of this stuff can get costly, but if you're a person like me who has to take an animal into the emergency room or get shots or get medications, and you could prevent that from happening, that's a lot of money later on that you're going to have to put in all at once. So, to all those that said the prayers about Luna and everything, I really appreciate that. For me, you know, when she walked into our life in February of 2015, it was during a blizzard. She was skin and bones. She probably wouldn't have lasted the night. So I know that I at least gave her 4 years extra. But Call me selfish. I want her to heal, and I want her to live a happy life. She's not suffering, because we wouldn't do that. But it's like anything. You have your good days and you have your bad days. So there's another thing, that if you feed your animals raw food, it could actually cure their diabetes. Now, I don't know if that's the same for humans, but I've watched a lot of videos from veterinarians that have talked about this, that with cats, and I've even confirmed it with my vet when I asked them, because a lot of times vets won't give you information, but if you ask them, they will tell you that with all of that protein, it can cure their diabetes. The problem is with the dry food and the store brand wet food, it's got a lot of carbohydrates, and that's bad for meat eaters. And they do it because it's cheap. That's why you can get a can of, you know, whatever brand of cat food for 39 cents. Like they say, you get what you pay for. So please look into this. It will extend the life of your animals. It will make them happier and healthier, and it will save you money down the line without having to go to hospitals and emergency rooms and just watching your animal suffer. It's something I felt I had to do. So I know there's going to be people who appreciate it. And to everybody else who doesn't watch it or doesn't care or whatever, hey, you know, if you can get something out of it, you don't even have to let me know. So if you want to continue to say I'm an evil person, a Satan incarnate or whatever, you can do that and still secretly help your animals, because that's all I care about. So I wanted to give an update and everything. I will eventually get back into making my regular videos. It's just my priority is other things. But like I said, I have boxes. You've seen that one video. I have boxes of comics that I still have not been able to open, and I saved them for these kind of situations. And I'll make videos again soon. But I promise you guys, I'm not giving up on you guys, because you're not giving up on me. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oregon is right here letting me pet them. They're doing pretty darn good, because they're younger, especially Oregon. He was born in 2012, so he's only 7. So he's getting the most benefit of this stuff. Luna, when we got her, we don't know how old she was, but the doctor said she was probably about between 8 and 11 years old back in 2015. So she's probably somewhere between 13 and 15 years old. So she's on the bed right now, just laying down, very lethargic. She has her moments, but we're doing everything that we can. I just wish I knew this information years ago. So hopefully it will help you. Hopefully you'll research it, and it will just make your lives happier, so you'll never have to go through this stuff. I don't want to see that to anybody. So thank you for listening. I hope you learned something, and I hope you all have a great night. Thank you again. Love you all.